We have received Victoria's latest numbers. The state recorded 19 new local cases yesterday.
Meanwhile, in New South Wales, residents of Greater Sydney are bracing for the possibility of more restrictions as the state's outbreak surpasses 1,000 cases. There were 97 new locally acquired cases reported yesterday, with up to 51 infectious in the community. Let's get more now from our reporters. We've got Margaret Paul, who's in Melbourne for us. 19 new cases for the state today. How concerned are the authorities?
Well, those 19 new cases, it's probably a bit higher than what Victorians had been hoping for. But the good news on those cases is they are all linked to known outbreaks, so no mystery cases there. The information that we don't yet know about those cases is how many of them have been isolating during their infectious period and how many of them had been out in the community. That brings the total of active cases in Victoria linked to those known outbreaks to 54. And in some other good news, there were more than 47,000 tests recorded across Victoria yesterday. So that's the good news. But yes, 19 cases is not what we wanted.
And what about the exposure sites? Have they grown? Have the list grown?
Yeah, so there are now 165 exposure alerts for places across Melbourne and Victoria. It includes this office tower, parts of this office tower in Docklands in central Melbourne behind me here. But there are also exposure sites for several train lines, other shopping centres, and even quite a few on Phillip Island in regional Victoria, which is a concern. Now, there were 10 new cases yesterday, and they included several teachers. There are now 2 teachers at Trinity Grammar who have got the virus, and 5 teachers at Bacchus Marsh Grammar, and a parent at Ballarat Clarendon College. So those school outbreaks has seen thousands of contacts, including teachers and families, isolating across Victoria.
And what has the government said about when they'll decide whether the lockdown will be extended?
Yeah, so at the moment, Victoria's 5-day lockdown is due to end on Tuesday. We're in day 2, a very chilly day 2 here in Melbourne, and we're all hoping that it will be the 5 days that is all that we need. But they don't make those decisions until much closer to when that's due to end. And the Premier was saying yesterday that what Victorians should be looking for is not necessarily the number of cases, so that 19 figure today, and not even necessarily where they contracted the virus. We know there has been concern about people catching the virus at the MCG and at the Young and Jackson's pub in central Melbourne, because in those cases they were people who were not necessarily known to each other, and that is a concern. But the Premier said what people should be looking out for is how many of those people were isolating while infectious. If that number is really low, that's good news.
Right, Margaret Paul, we'll leave you there in Melbourne.